Welcome to the channel, welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 21, game week 16 review. Another cracking week in the Family Fantasy Football League. No less than 6 managers delved into the transfer market this week. Napoli playing his second tactical gambit of the season. And I don't know what's going on with the Banter in the Box this season. Everyone seems to be keen to get involved because I've had 3 requests to join the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group this week. One from a dude in Ontario who wasn't Neil Hatch, one from a dude in Connecticut, and another guy from Nigeria. Everyone wants to get involved. So this week I'm going to break precedence, and we're not going to start with a league table review. We're going to start with a tribute I want to give to a true Family Fantasy Football League hero. And I know I say this a lot and normally I don't mean it, but this is actually banter exempt. This is sincerity, believe me, and I just felt compelled to do it. Then we're going to get down to the banter. League table highlights. Another entry to the Wall of Shame, the 11th entry on the Wall of Shame this season. I've got not one but 2 quotes of the week, and one of those quotes will take us on to Moppy 2. This time it's personal. Then I've got Stranger Than Fiction, more on that later, before I give you the manager of the season update. So first of all, a true Family Fantasy Football League hero. As you are all well aware, we are in the midst of a global pandemic. We're all locked down as this virus that's sweeping the globe continues to hospitalise millions and kill hundreds of thousands across the planet. And this week, Legends 23 manager Nicky Saunders became the first Family Fantasy Football League manager to be vaccinated. Now, as you can tell from that picture, Nicky wasn't vaccinated because she's in her 80s. Nicky was vaccinated because she is a frontline key worker. Now, I know everyone seems to jump on the key worker bandwagon these days, but for me, Nicky is one of the only key workers that matters at the moment, because Nicky is a nurse on the front line in Broomfield Hospital, going into work every day, saving lives in the most horrendous conditions, working extremely long hours every day, day in, day out. And I just wanted to say thank you, Nicky, for everything you're doing, and just acknowledge what a hero I think she and all of the other doctors and nurses up and down the country are. And it's great that we've got a Family Fantasy Football League manager that is one of our heroes. So thank you very much, Nicky. And for Nicky's sake, please, please, please continue to adhere to the government guidelines. Stay at home, only going out if it's absolutely essential. And if you do go out, masks on, 2 metre distance, wash your hands at all times. We can all do our bit to make Nicky's life that little bit easier while she's working so hard to save lives and help us all beat this pandemic, beat this virus and get over this pandemic. So well done, Nicky, you are my hero. League table review. So this is the bottom of the table. For the first time this season, no positions changed hands at the bottom of the table. Nicola Zanelka spent a 12th week at the bottom, although she did close the gap on second bottom John Tustin. Nicky's now just, 37 points away from Dustbin Dynamos. She's still registering some pretty good scores from time to time, Nicola Irvin, and the wooden spoon is far from a certainty. And the big surprise, Never the Boys manager Jack Hoxby, who scored a weekly win. Currently the only manager in the bottom half of the table to have registered a weekly win. He got a personal highest weekly total of 57 points. Sadly not enough to move him up the table, but he gets a little bit closer to those above him. Top half of the table, in 8th place, Coldplay United climbed another place as Martin Maloney continues to have an unbelievable season. That's the highest position Martin has been in since game week 6. In 7th place, Sash Hammers FC dropped a place, the lowest position Wayne has been since game week 8. Creed Bratton Society dropped 1 place to 6th. Ted and Sam Juniors dropped 2 places to 5th. The lowest position Ian Sands has been since game week 7, and incredibly, he was 3rd last week. He was the lowest scorer in game week 16, just 11 points. Talk about the wheels falling off. But the big mover this week, Megan Hopslade Chamberlain, up 3 places to 4th. This is Megan's 9th season in the Family Fantasy Football League, and that is the highest position. It took me a while to work that out. That is the highest position Megan has ever been in all of her 9 seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. Well done, Meg. Hatch United at 1 place to get back into the top 3. But at the top, he's been there all season long, a 16th consecutive week for Grease Lightning, who, having seen his lead eroded over the last couple of weeks, extended his league at the top. He's now back out 150 points clear of 2nd place Arden Diamonds, the champions-elect Grease Lightning. So, that's your league table. Now, Wall of Shame, just a recap. These are all the managers that have entered the Wall of Shame this season, either for entering an invalid team or making an invalid transfer. We have Mark Benwell, Mops, Hoxby, Jordan Williams, the Mad Hatter himself, Wayne Robinson's on there, James Appley, great Uncle George Moody, Martin Maloney, John Tustin, Pops Hoxby, Diane Maloney is on there, and this week the latest loser, Ted and Sam Junior's Ian Sands. Now, this is actually a little bit harsh because Ian Sands realised he had made an invalid transfer before I told him he had, but he still did register his initial transfer, which was invalid. Ian tried to make 2 transfers in a single week. Shame on you, Sands. Like I say, before I got a chance to tell him, he did email me an hour or so later and say, oh, realise I've fecked up. But, yeah, could not put you on the Wall of Shame, I'm afraid, Ian. So that is the latest Wall of Shame entry. Now, quote of the week. The first quote of the week comes from Sash Hammers FC manager Wayne Robinson. He sent me an email last week. Those of you that saw last week's Banter in the Box will remember I mentioned it, asking me how it was that Napoli had jumped 8 places from 22nd to 14th and had gone well clear in the Manager of the Month for January competition. And I explained it's because Lee Poulter had played a tactical gambit. Well, he actually played 2 tactical gambits. So the one that he used this week was his 3rd tactical gambit. I think he's the first manager to play 3 tactical gambits in a single season, I'm sure he is. But last week, Lee played 2 tactical gambits. He played the Oi Is Mine coupled with the Benefit Fraudster, which allowed him to bring in Harry Kane and get the points that Harry Kane had already scored. When I explained all of that in last week's Banter in the Box video, I got this email from Wayne to say, I don't get these gambit things. Stick to the original rules. I won back then. Well, Wayne did used to win the Family Fantasy Football League. He's actually a 3 times winner, but it's been many years since he's done anything in the league. Sorry, Wayne. Everyone's loving the everyone else, I should say, is loving the gambits. They are here to stay. And the tactical gambits are all detailed in the rules. Very easy to learn how to use them. They're also referenced on the weekly updates. They've got a tactical gambit tab. And if you haven't read the rules or looked at the tactical gambit tab on the weekly updates, you're still not sure how you can utilise tactical gambits, just give me a ring and I will explain. Or watch last week's Banter in the Box video where I'm pretty sure I explained it. Second quote of the week this week comes from Mops Hoxby. Now, those of you that saw last week will remember that Jordan Williams, for the 2nd time this season, cast aspersions on whether or not Alexi Lagos was running a 2nd team in Megan's name. He accused Alexi, his supposedly best friend, of that earlier on in the season, An investigation was launched by the Family Fantasy Football League Committee. No case found to answer. That wasn't good enough for the Mad Hatter. He came back last week with another accusation that he thought Alexi was running a second team. Mops, who featured in last week's Banter in the Box, sent me this quote. I should have got 5 Manager of the Season points last week for my quote of the week. And Jordan Williams should be banned. How dare he say Alexi is running a second team? And more importantly, how dare he suggest your daughter would cheat? When I see him at the presentation awards, I'm going to kick him right in his Creed Bratton. Well, that got me thinking. Of course, Mops has had an historic rivalry throughout the 26 seasons of the Family Fantasy Football League with her arch rival Benny United manager Mark Benwell, but it looks like she's focusing her attention on a new enemy. So this is how I think it will look at the end of season presentation awards. We're going to put up a ring, we're going to get Mops and Jordan to get the gloves on, and this is an artist impression of how most people think that fight would go in Moppy 2, inspired by Rocky. This time it's personal. Moppy 2 obviously, because Moppy 1 was Mops and Mark Benwell, but Moppy 2 could be even more fierce. Mops Hoxby and the Mad Hatter. Watch this space, everybody. Now, stranger than fiction. There's been a lot of strange stuff going on over the last 12 months, what with COVID and everything else. But I found out this week that Pez United manager Ryan Perrin, who is 6'5" tall, and he's turning 30 this year. Now, I say is 6'5" tall, but apparently during lockdown, Ryan has grown an extra inch. Now, I thought he's 30 this year, he can't still be growing. He wouldn't suddenly have had a growth spurt for no reason. So I asked Ryan to send me the evidence of why he thought he had grown an extra inch. And this is what he sent me. He said to me, look, my trousers don't fit anymore. I've grown an inch. So there you go. Stranger than fiction. Ryan Perrin, still growing at 30. How tall is he going to be? I'll keep you updated on that. Now, last week's Who the Fuck Is That? That was your picture. Loads of people had a go at this. Well, I say loads. I think it was 4. Let me think. Neil Hatch, Mark Benwell, Joe Hoxby, and Megan Hoxby. Don't think anyone else had a go. And all of those 4 managers said that that was a picture of Benny United manager Mark Benwell and I've Got a Life manager Mops Hoxby. And of course, they were correct. 2 points to all of those managers, which means that is the current manager of the season table. Wayne Robinson, for his quote of the week, joins the party. Mops Hoxby got a point for her quote of the week, so she jumps up to 11th. Megan Hoxby jumps up to joint 8th after getting the Who the Fuck Is That question right. Mark Benwell and Joe Hoxby both got it right, so they're now clear in joint 2nd on 9 points, but Hatch United also got it right and he stays 4 points clear at the top of the table. Well done, Neil Hatch. Just a reminder, the manager of the season wins a free tactical gambit to use next season, so they don't have to spend £10 million, or if they're buying the benefit fraudster £10 million, they can use that tactical gambit for free. Mark Benwell was last year's manager of the season, so he got a free tactical gambit and he's still got it sitting in his back pocket. He hasn't played it yet. Get involved, and you can get involved by sending me some banter on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group, commenting on this YouTube video, or answering the weekly question. And this week's manager of the season question is another Who the Fuck Is That? And there is the picture. That is a picture of a current Family Fantasy Football League manager. You just need to tell me which Family Fantasy Football League manager is pictured there. A 1 in 28 chance of getting it right. Remember, each manager is only allowed one guess per week. So that's it for this week, guys. Another another bumper edition of Banter in the Box. I will see you next week for episode 22, game week 17 review. Until then, stay safe. Bye bye.